It took me more than 60 years to understand this. And if you're listening today, there's a good chance you've been carrying the same quiet questions I once carried. Questions about whether you did enough, whether you mattered, whether it's too late to feel at peace, if you're feeling a little tired of pretending you're fine, if the nights feel longer than they used to, if memories visit you more often than plans do. I want you to know something first. You're not weak for feeling this way. You are human. Many men reach this stage of life with a lifetime of responsibility behind them. You worked. You provided. You stayed strong when no one asked how you were doing. And somewhere along the way, you learned to keep your worries to yourself. That can feel heavy now. But there is still warmth ahead. There is still meaning. And there is still something deeply valuable about you. What took me over 60 years to truly understand is this: life is not a scorecard. It never was. For most of my life, I believed my worth came from what I achieved, how much I endured, how useful I was to others. I remember sitting alone one evening after retirement, the house unusually quiet, realizing no one needed me the way they used to. And for the first time, I felt invisible. That moment hurt more than I expected. The lesson I learned slowly, gently, was that my value had never been tied to my job or my strength. It was always in my presence, my character, and the way I treated people, even when no one was watching. Another thing I learned late is that regret is not a punishment. It's a teacher. We all have moments we replay in our minds. Words we wish we'd said. Time we wish we'd spent differently. I once ran into an old friend and realized how much distance I'd allowed to grow simply because life felt busy. That regret sat with me for a while. But instead of letting it harden me, it softened me. It reminded me that today is still alive. And today still gives us choices, even small ones, that matter. I also learned that loneliness doesn't always mean being alone. Sometimes it comes from feeling unseen, from believing no one would understand what you're carrying. I spent years surrounded by people yet rarely spoke about how I truly felt. When I finally allowed myself to open up even just a little, I realized something powerful. Connection begins the moment we stop pretending we don't need it. One of the quiet truths of aging is this: you don't need to become more impressive. You need to become more honest. Honest about what hurts. Honest about what brings peace. Honest about who you are now, not who you were expected to be. And if you're listening to this and thinking, I've made mistakes, let me tell you something with kindness. You are allowed to forgive yourself. Carrying guilt for decades does not honor the past. It only steals from the present. You did the best you could with what you knew at the time. That is not an excuse. It is a truth. Let me speak to you directly now. Your life has weight. Your experiences matter. Your presence still changes rooms, still shapes conversations, still comforts people in ways you may never fully see. You are not finished. You are not forgotten. And you do not need to rush to prove anything anymore. If you're wondering what you can gently do from here, start small. Take a few quiet minutes each morning just to breathe and notice that you are still here. Reach out to one person, not to impress, just to connect. Allow yourself to enjoy something simple without guilt: a walk, a memory, a familiar song. Speak kindly to yourself, especially when old regrets return. And if possible, share a piece of your story with someone who might need it. Wisdom grows when it's passed on. Aging is not about fading away. It's about becoming lighter where you once carried too much, softer where you once had to be hard, wiser because you've lived through what others have not yet faced. You are not behind. You are not broken. You are still becoming, just in a quieter, deeper way. And if this message brought you even a small sense of comfort, consider staying connected here. You don't have to walk this season alone. Thanks for watching. Subscribe to Graceful Aging for more gentle wisdom and new videos that support your journey.